This is Super Yacht News with E. Sisman.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. So on my left here, you can see Motor Yacht Golden Odyssey. She's a 123 meter or 400 foot super yacht that has recently changed hands. The yacht was formerly owned by Saudi Prince Khalid bin Sultan, but the vessel's been sat in Malta for 2 years. Whilst there was a court case going on, the vessel was arrested there because of non-payment. And there was some other stuff going on there, and the vessel sat in Malta for a very long time. Recently, it was ordered to be sold by the courts of Malta, and the vessel changed hands for the princely sum of $146 million. Now, we do have information that says that up until fairly recently, the yacht was actually not advertised, but it was quietly being sold or attempted to be sold by Burgess Yachts for $380 million. We actually have access to an advertisement from Burgess that was trying to sell this vessel, but the vessel in the end sold for $146 million. So that's quite the markdown, isn't it? So yeah, so that vessel should be arriving in Germany in the next week or so. So we'll keep you updated on any movements on that one. So we'll move on to the next story. Now, you will all remember the sailing yacht, the rather sad video of the sailing yacht being hit by the Spanish search and rescue vessel, and Eleonora E, the yacht was called. The vessel sank after being hit by this vessel. Now, the search and rescue vessel that crashed into the sailing yacht, the captain said that the engines did not respond to his inputs on the bridge, and the vessel continued reversing when he was telling it to stop, and that's why it crashed. The yacht sat on the marina floor there for over 3 months while the insurance company sorted out a company to come in and salvage it. It was written off. It sank. The only reason why if that had sank in 100 meters of water, it would have just been left. But because it was in the marina and the mast was still sticking out of the water, it was blocking that section of the marina, had to be recovered. So the insurance company actually paid out on that vessel as a total loss, and then they recovered it with a company. The vessel was raised using airbags, and then they were able to close that hole in the side of the vessel and then seal it and then pump the water out, and then they were able to tow the vessel to a dry dock across from that marina. Now, we had a subscriber actually took some photographs. You can see them on the screen here, and it shows how they plugged that hole. So they basically folded back the hole as much as they could, and then they put these boards in the center, and then they used a putty around the edge to seal that, to make it watertight so they could pump the water out. Well, we've got some information about that actually, and about the putty is called polyvalent putty, and it's a multi-purpose use putty, but it says it can seal and protect any type of surface, including concrete, cement, iron, steel, aluminium, copper, lead, zinc-coated metals, marble, ceramics, glass, PVC, and over dry and wet surfaces, and it can either be done in air or in seawater. So that is quite an incredible compound, isn't it? So one of our subscribers sent that in, and the thing that made me laugh about this is it was sent to me on Threema, and the chap's name on Threema was David Hasselhoff. I kid you not. I'll show you on screen here. He said it was okay to put this on. David Hasselhoff sent me that information. I'm sure that's not his real name, but I just thought that was quite funny that he had that name. Obviously on Threema you can have no name, or you can have whatever name you want on Threema. So I thought that was quite funny. But I thought it was interesting anyway to sort of see how they did that, how they sealed the side of that vessel. I haven't had any updates on whether or not anyone has purchased that vessel to try to fix it. It's a massive job. Every bit of electronics in that vessel would have to be taken out and replaced. Any engine would have to be replaced because it's been subjected to salt water for 3 months. So yeah. But if anyone knows anybody who's interested in buying that vessel, or if anyone's actually in talks, please get in touch. Love to know. Love to be able to give an update on that yacht. All right, so we'll move on to the next story now, and this is the main story. And this is an update on Motor Yacht Nord. As you all know, Nord left Hong Kong and headed to South Africa. We broke the story on the channel that she was headed to South Africa. And we tracked her going through the Singapore Straits and the Straits of Malacca. And then she turned west and southwest to head to South Africa. And then about 4 days ago, she turned off her AIS and stopped broadcasting. So she went dark on us. It's been over 4 days now. So we don't really know where she is or even whether she's still heading to South Africa. But the estimated time of arrival on AIS was the 9th of November. Now she's currently, we think, heading through the Indian Ocean. And she's headed still, as far as we know, to Cape Town. Now, what we've had through is a source that tells us that, I just want to emphasize that we have not been able to verify this independently, but the source tells us that Nord applied for a berth at the Victoria and Alfred waterfront in Cape Town, and she was actually denied a berth. And the reason that she was given, that the vessel was given, was that the harbour was full. But the source tells us that the reason why it was actually denied was because they were concerned about the security of that vessel, because there is a large Ukrainian community in South Africa. So the yacht applied for a berth in the marina, and it was told that they couldn't not have one. So that's very interesting development if it's true. Like I said, we've been unable to confirm this independently. Now, we know that there's a mixed feelings for Russian yachts heading to South Africa. The government did recently say through a spokesperson that the yacht was free to dock in South Africa. But we know that the mayor of Cape Town and the premier of that province both asked for permission to be denied for the vessel entering anywhere in South Africa. So there is a mixed feeling there. You have to remember though, South Africa is a member of BRICS. Now, if you don't know what BRICS is, it's a cooperative coalition of developing countries, and it includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, of course. And it's basically bilateral relations amongst BRICS states are conducted mainly based on non-interference, equality, and mutual benefit. So, some stats about motor yacht Nord. So in the ranking for world's largest yacht, this is based on length, Nord sits at number 15. Now the yacht sailed from Vladivostok in Russia to Hong Kong, which is a distance of 1,673 nautical miles approximately. That is 3,980 kilometers. Then she sailed from Hong Kong to Cape Town, as we said, and that is a distance of 7,133 nautical miles, or 13,210 kilometers. That's a total distance from Vladivostok to Hong Kong and then on to South Africa. That's a total distance of 8,808 nautical miles, or 16,312 kilometers. Now, as far as we know, the yacht didn't refuel while she was in Hong Kong. Now, we're not sure if she refueled or not. If anybody knows, if anybody watching knows whether or not she did, please get in touch. That would be really interesting to know. Because 8,800 nautical miles, that is, I would say that's probably approaching the maximum range of that yacht. Now, we don't know the capacity. We don't know the range of Nord. It's not been publicized, and we don't know the capacity of her fuel tank, so we can't work out approximately the range of that vessel. But we can compare her to a vessel of similar size, just as a rough estimate. Obviously, there's no way to know if it can do the same. But Octopus, for instance, is just under 10,000 gross tons. Motor Yacht Nord is just over 10,000 gross tons, and Octopus has a range of 12,500 nautical miles. So I would probably say that she probably has a range in some similar. Motor Yacht Andromeda is another vessel that has a range of 12,000 nautical miles. Now, like I said, I'm sure she has massive fuel tanks because she is a massive yacht, right? Just shy of 142 meters or 464 feet. So she is a big girl. So yeah, we don't know if she refueled. It's possible that the vessel is stopping on the way to refuel. It's unlikely, but it's possible. But if you've got any information out there about whether or not she's refueled at all, that would be great to know. So please get in touch in the normal way. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for today. The main news being that we have been told by a source that the yacht has been denied a berth in Victoria and Alfred waterfront. So we'll see how that pans out. I'm sure they'll be disappointed on board to find that out. It's possible the boat could sit at anchor, or it can go to another location. The main question is, why is she headed to South Africa? Because if the owner is not using the vessel, it's very unusual for a vessel to travel such a long distance without the owner wanting that vessel. So based on my own experience, generally a yacht only moves when the owner wants it to be somewhere, right? So if he wants to be in the Caribbean for Christmas and the yacht's in Europe, then the yacht will reposition over to the Caribbean and will wait for his arrival. And you know, that's basically the only reason why a yacht will move, or if it's going to a shipyard. So it's possible that the yacht is planning to go to a shipyard in South Africa, although we don't have any information to support that. One other thing before I go, just to remind you that we have now a Patreon page. Be sure to check it out. This is for people who want to support the channel. We spend an awful lot of money on logistics and also on equipment to bring these videos to you and the features that we do around the world. You can also, on the channel, on the Patreon page, you can access unseen footage. You can talk in our community there. You get early access to features. You also get to suggest topics for future videos, and you'll get to ask questions for upcoming Q&As. Now, we do have a question and answers video coming in the next few weeks, and we are accepting questions on Patreon from our patrons there, and they're going to be in that Q&A. So if you want to ask any questions for the upcoming Q&A, please go over to the Patreon page and subscribe to us there. All right, I'm going to leave it there. If you've got any information about this story or any of the other stories we've mentioned, or any stories we haven't mentioned today, please get in touch through the normal fashion. You can get us on the About page of the YouTube channel. You can get us on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger, and you can also get us on Threema. All right, thanks very much for watching. Please be sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell for future notifications. All right, thanks very much. Bye-bye.